It's a party tonight, that's for sure. We invite everyone, make your way forward, come on in, get up close in front. This is not the time to be a stranger at all. My name is Jamie Watson. I am very excited and honored to be on the stage here tonight. I will be 1/3 of the broadcast team this year, and it is exciting to be a part. Thank you for that. I'll buy you all beers for that. A round of applause there. Thank you. This is an exciting day, an exciting evening, and it's another milestone day for this club. Tonight, you are going to hear from 3 key members that were able to make the dream of bringing MLS to Nashville a reality. Plus, we will have a couple of special guests along the way, and we're going to make sure, more importantly, to hear from the heartbeat of the club, you fans, in a Q&A. Make sure you guys are ready. You will have a chance to ask the questions you've been wondering, what you've been wanting to say, if it's thank you, if it's congrats, if it's a heartfelt question, whatever it is, save that, keep that in mind. We will have a Q&A towards the end of the evening. Well, we are 16 days away from our inaugural match. February 29th against Atlanta United, and by the time the night's done, we will have most likely crossed over 40,000 tickets. That's just 16 days to go. Right now, our story in MLS is a blank page. We get to make history each and every time we get together, each and every time there's a game, each and every event. You all and us, we are writing history together. And that's an exciting thing. It's something to be proud of. It's something to take ownership of. And I would feel disingenuous if I stood up here and I didn't have any experience with that. As a player, I was drafted in 2005 with Real Salt Lake. I got a chance to see. No, we like Real Salt Lake. We're going to beat them. It's going to be fine. We're fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's an incredible thing to see what the community does and transforms when you take soccer, the world's game, and you bring it to this incredibly diverse and inclusive community. The change that it's going to make with the players, the committed front office, and this ownership group, the change is going to be transformational. It's going to get exciting. I did it in Orlando. I did it in Minnesota. I am telling you, the best is yet to come. And by the way, the best is yet to come tonight. And I need your help. I need your help in welcoming our panelists to the stage. Now, I want you to draw back to about 10:15 this morning when you refreshed Twitter, and you saw the news, and that excitement built. Channel that right now, because one of the key members, one of the biggest components to making that dream a reality, a man that has helped bring Nashville an MLS team, that's helped bring Nashville a stadium. Yes. Give me a big, big, big welcome. The man responsible, the man of the day, the man of the moment, your owner of Nashville Soccer Club, Don Ingram. We love you. Hey, it's just going to get better and better. And now I need your help to keep that passion going. This is not the time to be quiet. This is the time to get even louder as the night goes on. The man who helps guide the club day in and day out. A man who has as sparkling of a footballing resume anywhere in the world. He doesn't need any more of an introduction than that. Your CEO, Mr. Ayre. I know what drink I'm buying them, actually. It's a fireball. So Told you this night was going to be fun. And last, but certainly not least, we have with us tonight a very, very special guest. The 2019 Sports Business Journal Executive of the Year, heading into his 21st year as commissioner of Major League Soccer. A good friend of mine, somebody I'm honored to be on the stage with tonight. Give it up for MLS Commissioner Don Garber! I promise you that, guys. Now, I told you we've got some special guests. So, before we get to our panel tonight, I need your help to keep it going. Keep this energy going. Keep it going. One of the men that works hand in hand with Ayre each and every day to build this roster that you can be proud of, that you can call your own. One of the men responsible for one of the biggest deals in MLS history. Please welcome to the stage your general manager, Mike Jacobs. We appreciate Mike taking a break from record-breaking deals to join us here tonight. And well, since we're on the topic, since we're on the subject, why don't we welcome the 2019 MLS Best 11, the 2019 All-Star, U.S. Men's National Team Center Back, and the newest member of Nashville Soccer Club. You've already got your own song. Not a bad start to your Nashville residency. Hey, it's been a whirlwind 48 hours for you, I can imagine. Let's talk about the emotions and the excitement when you found out that you were going to be a part of Nashville Soccer Club.
Yeah, I mean, when you get traded, there's nothing like those emotions that happen, all in a space of seconds. You know, you're holding on to every word when you hear the words you're getting traded to, and you're just like, fingers crossed. It's like Nashville, and you're like, okay, Nashville, let's go!
Walker, that's incredible. And Mike, I want to ask you, this is a significant investment by the club. As I mentioned, a record-breaking deal for a defender in Major League Soccer. What qualities and attributes about Walker made you want to build the team and the core and the foundation around this guy right here?
You know, we talk so much about NSC DNA, the makeup of what this club will look like on and off the field. And as you hear us talk more and more about what that looks like, you know, the picture of that is Walker Zimmerman.
Yeah! We'll argue with you. We'll argue with that at all. Walker, we really appreciate you being here tonight. Mike, you as well. Before we let you go, Walker, you got a chance to do this expansion thing before the 2018 season with LAFC. What did you learn from that process that you think you can apply to this to help make Nashville Soccer Club just as successful?
Well, I think there are definitely a lot of things, too many to speak about all at once, but the thing that stood out to me from the beginning is how important culture is and creating that culture. And so I'm really excited to get to Tampa, help create that culture within the locker room. But then a lot of that comes up to you guys, the fans. Certainly a lot of special group at LAFC, and I know it's going to be even more special here in Nashville. The passion's got to be there. And so, you know, again, the culture of the club, what is it going to look like? And that's both the players, and we're going to try and do our part, and then certainly the supporters and how we can hopefully capture this city.
It was a game-changing trade, Mike. You're a game-changing player, Walker. We're so excited to have you here. Mike, you got to get back to building this roster, getting this team ready to go. 16 short days away. We're so excited to see the first game. Walker's got to get down to Tampa to join the teammates, to the guys of Dax McCarty, Daniel Lovitz. But before we go, guys, we need your participation in this. I let Ayre, believe it or not, he's gonna borrow my own selfie stick here, and we're gonna have everybody come up and take a big picture, but we need you guys to be a part of this picture. So would you please join me? We'll have Ian, John, Don, Walker, Mike, get up here. You guys are gonna take a selfie. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's the collection item. Let's give it up for Mike Jacobs and Walker Zimmerman. All right, before we settle in, we've got even more special guests that made their way. We've actually got a good friend of the league. He'll be on the broadcast for Fox on February 29th against Atlanta United. The top soccer analyst, the World Cup finalist commentating, Stuart Holden's in the house over here. And next to him is the guy that looks like he could still play right now. He scored plenty of goals against me when he played for the Houston Dynamo. Brian Ching's in the house. Isn't that so typical? You just go to a bar and superstars are there. It's just typical Nashville, isn't it? You guys, we really appreciate you being here tonight, and we've got a couple of questions. I kind of wanted to just kick off nice and easy with you. We'll start with you, Commissioner. It's an honor to have you here. You've been a part of this instrumental growth in Major League Soccer. It's the 25th year of Major League Soccer. First of all, congratulations. Incredible achievement. Along the way, there's been some highs and the lows. What would you say has maybe been your biggest challenge? And then everybody loves to start the night off with a good story, so maybe your funniest moment as well along the way.
I'll start with the funniest one. You know, when I took this job, the league was pretty small, 10 teams playing in these large stadiums. And I live in New York, and I went to a Metro Stars game. I drive my car, I park in the players' parking lot, I come down the tunnel into Giant Stadium, and I was late leaving the city, and the game had already started. And as I'm walking through the tunnel, I see Bora, who was a coach of the '94 U.S. team, and he was smoking a cigarette in the tunnel. The game was probably going on for 5 minutes. I said, "Hey, Coach, what are you doing? The game started." Don't worry about it, you know. So, that was. I fined him for that, by the way. But obviously, there's been so much growth. So there's been a lot of great challenges, but there's been so much hope and so much opportunity. And I'll just fast forward to where we are here. You know, we're thinking about this league that's on the rise and trying to be one of the great soccer leagues in the world. And we think about what are cities that are on the rise? Where can we really drive all of this passion and energy that's going on in communities across our country? And Nashville has that in so many different ways. And we had it from the first announcement, from the fastest close, from the time we met John till we had our announcement. The brand launch, which I think is unbelievable. I think this is one of the great brands and logos in sport. And having spent some time with Ian this morning, some of the things that you all are going to do to have this club stand out from a branding, ritual, game day experience perspective had me literally almost in chills today. So I try not to look back on and I will say that even about the things we went through the last couple of months, and just look forward to what I think is going to be a great 25th season. Nashville coming in, Miami coming in, 4 more teams coming in over the next couple of years, lots of new stadiums, great times ahead.
It's really found its place in the market here, and it starts to continue to grow year after year, both with audiences, with expansion teams, but you know, as MLS has never been at its more peak of popularity, what's the secret to continuing to grow Major League Soccer as we get upwards of 30 teams in the next couple of years?
Well, you know, I think it's having our fans. I mean, I think Walker said it right. By the way, I was really impressed. I mean, I've seen him in CBA negotiations last year, and I've seen how he's carried himself in our marketing materials and the interviews we do with him. This is a very special guy that's not just a great player, but I think he really represents the character of what we're trying to do with our league, and I think it's going to be great for your club. You know, we need to build relevance. You know, we need to have our clubs matter. We need to have our national team, men's and women's. Women continue to be great. Our men's national team getting back to some of the stature that it had. But you know, I say most importantly, you know, we need to show the rest of the world that the United States is a powerful soccer nation. We can really lead this sport, and we got to do that with great teams, with connected fans, teams that really matter in the community, with terrific stadiums that are located in the right spot. I'll say this to Stuart, great broadcast partners. By the way, you guys will be on what we call Big Fox, not FS1. So getting lots of ubiquity and exposure and just building momentum and building value. If we do that, I think the momentum behind our sport will create great things.
Well, and that momentum is accelerated by great ownership, and John, that leads me right to you. You know, everything that you dreamed about and really envisioned happening, well, in the last couple of months, in the last couple of years, it's come to reality now. And I don't think there was anybody happier than this man right here at the jersey launch. So excited. You can see the passion is real. It's genuine. What has the last couple of years been like for you, seeing what started out as a dream come to fruition and is now very much a reality?
Is that better? Okay, that's better. Listen, what is really gratifying for me is to be doing this and seeing all of you. Because it's not about me, it's about us. And this whole team is for Nashville. And we're all a part of it. And you know, that was my whole thing. Do something in Nashville, to do it with Nashville, and to do it for Nashville. And that's what I'm about. And you know, I'm not the owner that needs to hog the microphone. You guys, supporters and fans, are the front line and the key piece. I just want to work with Ian and the team and the rest to put a great product out on the field, to have real engagement about how we go about our business, have fun, and I want to win. So all of that.
It's a great answer, and don't worry, we won't let you hog the microphone because half of them aren't working up here. So, Commissioner, in your years of experience as Commissioner of this league, you've been the mastermind behind expansion. You've seen it work, you've seen it have it stumbling out of the gate. What have been some of the key factors for you that are some of the successes and maybe the challenges that teams face? And what are we about to embark on in this ride in 2020?
Well, you know, the challenges and problems that we've had are really in the past, right? So you think about the early phase of MLS expansion was at a different time in our league's history and the history of the sport in our country. Expansion over the last decade has really been remarkable. And the real success is, think of where Seattle is. Seattle's had 10 years where they have been as relevant, as successful, and as important 10 years later. And that's not an easy thing to achieve. You got to really drive ongoing success. All the things that make sports teams work, make soccer teams work, is what this club needs to aspire to. You need the right stadium in the right location. You need a humble, passionate owner. And you'll get to Ian. You need to have a president and somebody that really understands how to connect all the dots, because you can't just have a good club on the field. You got to have a right brand, and you got to have the right relationship with your fans. You have to have the right fan experience, and you have to have the right relationship with the media. And if you connect all those dots, there's no end to what MLS can be. And we're seeing that certainly over the last couple of years. You guys got to sell out your stadium. It'll be the 66,000, the largest crowd in the state of Tennessee for soccer. And then when that happens, after all the things that people have been thinking about with this club, continue to pack that stadium for week in and week out. And I believe that will happen. John believes that will happen. Ian believes it will happen. we need to show the rest of Major League Soccer, the rest of the world that that can happen. The best way to get Nashville to the top of the World Cup bidding cities is to show Zurich that this is a soccer city that's the best in the country.
I'll ask about that momentarily to you because then you bring up a great point.
As much as I'm doing this with my wallet,
Yes, you are.
I hope.
You better not pay for a drink all night, by the way. That's for sure.
No, but as much. I mean, seriously, as much as doing this with my wallet, I hope you all can feel that I'm doing this with my heart. I mean, and that Nashville's my home, and I wouldn't do this anywhere else. I mean, literally, wouldn't want to do it anywhere else. But I want to do it here, and I want to do it with all of you, and I want to do it so we do something that's just a wonderful reflection on our great city. And so that's it.
Yeah, and you can see what it means to the community, and it's only going to get more and more from here. But I know today's a happy day and it's a celebration, but we have to address it publicly. It seems as though you've been in a real fight with the mayor as of late. How would you describe it from yourself? We get a chance to hear from him. I think this is the perfect forum, open, honest discussion with the real stakeholders of the team here in front of us. How would you describe what's been playing out?
Well, I would say the last 4 months have been frustrating, without any doubt. But ultimately, I'm not somebody that dwells on the past. I'm focused towards the future because we got where we needed to go, and we have a mayor, and I respect that he's. I think he and I both want the same thing. I think maybe the process was very different in terms of how we saw that, but ultimately we got where we needed to go, and I want I want to focus on the future. So the past is the past, and the future is what I'm interested in.
Futures never look brighter. Ian, I want to bring you in off the back of it. You've worked intimately throughout the process with the club, and you've been in these discussions with John. How has this affected the club, though?
Let me say something else first, if I may, because this guy's too humble to say this. There was only one hero in this process, and he's sitting next to me. When his city came out and said we need some help, he stepped up and helped out. He didn't get any thanks for it, not from certain people. But this guy stepped up. There's only one hero. It's John Ingram. I think in terms of the process and in terms of how this, and the word process, or as you guys say, process.
There you go, he's getting the lingo, right?
The process has been really important. It's been more difficult than the fireball shot that these guys get me to do in the games. And I think this whole thing's been about process. It's been about, we're trying to build something really amazing here for Nashville, both on the field, off the field, and obviously a stadium. And when you start to disrupt things in any business, but more so in sports, it has a really detrimental effect, right? It affects staff, players, everything. Unfortunately, we're not playing soccer right now. If we had been, I think we'd be in a much worse state, because it really can have an effect. I think it's great testament to everyone on and off the field, and also the supporters, that when we stepped into that difficult process, when we started to see that really difficult time, everybody in Nashville stood up for soccer. That's what it's all about. That's what this city's about, and that's why we're doing it here.
We're going to build that stadium, aren't we, Ian? I wanted to just follow up on something because you talked about how...
No point to go into all the detail, but one of the things I would say is, when we conceptualized the first string, it was about showing all of those people who in the last few months have stepped up and made a commitment to Nashville Soccer Club by buying season tickets. It's a big ask, it's a big commitment. The other thing I wanted to say, because I saw some chatter on social media in the last few days, people talking about 1779. 1779 is a group of people who made a commitment when we were in USL. And the very idea that we wouldn't honour that commitment, absolute nonsense, right? When we make a promise, we keep it.
Yes,
so
sir.
those people who are 1779, you're at the front of the line. Our first string fans are right behind you. We do what we say we're going to do, and we do it well, and that's what we're going to do for Nashville in this season and beyond.
Well, you know, I've been asked a lot of questions. What would have happened if we didn't get this over the finish line? And what I responded with is, because you guys got a Stanley Cup hockey team, right? You've got a team that plays in, well, almost, in the Stanley Cup. In the Stanley Cup. Imagine them not having an ice rink to play in. I mean, it's inconceivable that you would have a pro sports team and not have a stadium. So you get asked this question, you just scratch your head and say, I don't understand the question, right? No, well, we came into the scene without having our own buildings, my comment about my first game in Giant Stadium. And then ultimately, after billions and billions and billions of dollars and 2 decades of building the foundation of the sport, it's now a table stake. You gotta have a stadium. So when you think about what that stadium will be for you, in that location, it'll be the largest soccer stadium in Major League Soccer. And it's going to have fan experience, it's going to have hospitality experience, it's going to respect, and this is really a better question for Ian, it's going to respect and create profile for your supporters. It's going to do the things that will give you personality and allow this club to stand out from every other club in MLS, and give you a personality and a culture to stand out from any other club around the world. So
you talk about the largest soccer-specific stadium in MLS. That's a huge achievement, a huge accomplishment.
In your house and having a landlord or owner in a house, right? If you could want to be able to own and you can't own, you should own. Maybe you could control it. Forget about the revenue of it, because this is not about, to John's point, just about money. What it's about is being able to manage. To Ian's point, how are you going to handle your supporters? How are you going to provide personality and branding and a fan experience that's going to capture the culture, the food culture here, the music culture? You know, the Titans and the Predators have been great partners, and John's talked about that a lot. In our first meetings, the two, Stuart and Brian, I mean, this is a guy that played in the World Cup in South Africa in 10, and a guy that played in the World Cup in Germany
Not me.
in 2006.
Not me, those guys.
So, our sport is so unique. I've been in this business a long time, and you have in our league, you have the league competition, you have the CONCACAF Champions League, you have U.S. national team games. Guys like Walker, hopefully, will be the center back for the next, 2 World Cups or more. You have all sorts of different competitions that make it so challenging, but make it so special. It's why it's the beautiful game. And we're going to have a roll-up to be able to run up, to be able to take all of the momentum of what will be 30 teams, be the largest soccer league in the entire world, building momentum to have the biggest sporting event in the world in our backyard. And hopefully for all of you, it's in Nashville. They're going to be great for the city of Nashville. But we have, for the first time, this North Star that is very tangible. So in John's businesses, you don't know where you're going to be 6 years from now. I'm talking about your other businesses. But we know in 2026, the World Cup is here. And we have a countdown clock in the league office in New York City. And every day we're thinking about what programs, what marketing, what promotion, what player development, fan development, stadium development, what can we do to be sure in 2026 we're operating on all cylinders, and 2027 and beyond, this league can ride the rocket fuel to be bigger, better, and more popular.
Well, on the back of change overnight with the news that we got this morning.
Well, Ian has a great way of articulating why Nashville would be a great city, so I'll throw that to Ian. I mean, it's the first World Cup that'll be across 3 countries, all within CONCACAF. We have more cities that have bid than there will be cities that will be granted host cities. Most of them are MLS cities. But ultimately, I'd like to think that we could have cities that represent different cultures and characters and different geographic personality to the world, as billions and billions of people are watching it, I'd like to think that the rest of the world could see what America has become when America is at its best. And I like to think of our league as a league for New America. I've been talking about that since I came in 20 years ago. And that New America in its own way kind of lives in places like Nashville, because it's so different today than it was 20 years ago or 10 years ago, and it's continuing to evolve as all these great things are happening. That's why we want to be here. And I would hope that Zurich looks at having cities that are not just the biggest. It will sell out no matter where it is. It'll be unbelievably successful no matter where it is. But this community, to me, to throw to Ian, just sort of feels like I'd want 1 billion people to know about what's happening here. So,
Ian, your thoughts on what Don just said?
Yeah, just having been around World Cup bids and seeing it in different countries, one of the things I can say is that when FIFA look at venue cities, host cities, it's relatively easy in a country like the United States, a country like England, Germany. It's pretty easy to find the right number of stadiums to put these games on. What you're really looking for is a city where hundreds of thousands of fans can come to, and when there isn't a game on, can be entertained, can have a great time, and can be in and around the city. And I think, like, I've been here like 20 months. This city can put a party on. This city is perfect as a host city for the World Cup.
It's exciting to see where this is going to go, and it could ultimately lead to the world's biggest tournament being right here in our backyard. It's